Hello everyone, welcome back to another stream. Here we go again. I'm just getting everything set up now. Just need to grab the link and away we go. So, if you just come in and you're just waiting for me to respond, it's just because of me just getting everything ready. Okay, away we go. So, hey Sammy, how you doing? Hey everyone. No, this hasn't been touched. This is the old version. So, I think I know how I'm going to do this now. I just need to tweak things a little bit. Last time had me pretty annoyed for obvious reasons. So I'm just going to try and see how this goes tonight. Let's just do this. I got this working pretty easily today. I just need to actually pull it off. So if we do something like this. Come on. I just need like a little bit more clearance there. And the reason for that is that I can make it look as though everything's good. Although, I could technically just like take that and just like replace everything. In fact, we'll do that now. Hang on. Because there are a couple of ways of doing this. Because previously I just stuck them all up randomly. But yeah, this is working really well at the moment. I just need to tweak things a little bit. Hey Swoop! So, like with this is pretty much the same. The difference is that this has a single texture, I believe, so I can literally just go like, what is it? Pinned vertex groups. Assign weight there of like 0.5 for everything. And then the bottom here. Everything along the bottom is 1, right? And then we'll do like 1 here. And anywhere else there's really something attached. It's like there maybe. Oh. We're just trying to single out these verts and assign them the value of like 1. And I'll show you why. Because it's really handy when it works, but I might need to actually do this in different files depending on tonight, because last night was incredibly infuriating. Like seriously, I almost ruined my entire night last night by it just going crazy. Hey Damon, I'm doing alright. I hope that this'll solve my issue. So like for instance, I've rigged that now, right? Now, if I take all of those and apply the rig to that, it's gonna work. But this other one, it's a little bit different. So like for instance, what I'm gonna need to do here essentially is make a completely new mesh from these duplicates. And the reason being, wait a minute, is that duplicated the mesh on top of the mesh as well? Oh, okay. It's very interesting the way that this is set up. How's it going? Thank you very much. I'm doing fine, thank you. So we're just making the intro to Undertale in 3D and actually having it have physics. So I should be able to convert all of that to mesh, right? The thing is, I kind of don't want to because I need the area underneath it. So we'll convert at least this section to mesh. What even happened? Yeah, basically what happened was I tried a couple of different things. It didn't work. I tried a potential fix that that required money. So I paid out of my money that I actually don't have. I've mentioned it quite a few times. I literally have like no money. So I can't really afford anything. So I actually ended up in debt last night because of it. But yeah, basically I made the stream private because I just felt like it was bad optics. I'd got really upset because what I was trying to do wasn't working. Nothing was working, and I got in debt because of it. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going along with that. I'm not having that stay up on the channel. Like, people think I'm messing around when I say, like, I literally have no money, but I really don't. So doing something like that was, like, a big risk. Because I was just like, okay, I'll try and see what happens, see how it goes, and sure enough, it messed up really badly. Alright, let's try this. I'm gonna make sure I save some of these nodes. I need a new set of meshes here like this. Basically, what was happening was the stuff that I was trying to do should have worked, but didn't. And then everything just got messed up, and it was just like, dude, this ain't worth it. You know. It was incredibly bad. So what we're doing here is I'm trying to simulate physics. And the reason why is because it's going to work real nice. Wait, why is that? Is the grass material randomized? Huh. It's not, so why is... Wait, why is it different though then? What? Oh, dude, screw this. I'm just gonna wing it. We're gonna go for it here. I'm gonna take the geometry nodes and get rid of that. And then just go group input. Does that actually cancel that out so I can get that mesh back? So no, let's just go and do it on the normal one. So what I'm trying to do here is get the physics working, and I can do it because I've got it working in another part of the project. Would you like to hear about another Undertale Roblox game? Lots of negativity here. Okay. Recommend your project to a lot of people on Bricadia, says Damon. Hope it spreads the buzz. Thank you very much, Damon. Let's try this, right? The idea behind this now is that I should be able to take these cards and merge them, which will cause havoc up here until we mess around with stuff a little bit. Universal Massacre, a game that some people like me are pretty biased about. Huh. So what we're going to do here is create a completely new mesh that hopefully will not be messed up. In fact, actually, no, I could just append my other file. I'll show you what I did before, right? Because I'm going backwards and forwards and trying to figure out what I want to do. But I'll tell you what was going on. Like, I had physics mess up last night, right? So I wanted to get stuff working properly. So I came in and tested it with just this. And this is just a simple, does physics work? This is set up with rubber attached to it to simulate the grass. Sure enough, it works. Collision hits it, grass moves. I was like, okay, right? But the problem was, last night, physics weren't working at all for some reason. I was like, well, maybe it's a group of stuff. Maybe because things were like exploding through each other. Maybe it's because the group. So I set a load of them up in a group, right? Bam. Group just works. I'm like, okay. So it's not a group of items. They're all joined together. They should work, right? I was like, okay, let's try another one. Let's try group 2, right? Now this is a bigger group, done the same way that I've done the other bit in the ruins. But what happened was, these were originally geometry nodes, was the main one. So what was happening was, because they were geometry nodes like the other one, what was happening was I hadn't instanced them as real. Basically, to shorten that, it was copying this version all over here, but none of these were moving because something would have to hit this version because it's linked to it. So instead I was like, you know what? I'll make it a mesh, apply cloth physics to it, and away we go. It works perfectly. Like, you can see the ball moving through it. It's moving through like grass, right? So the only thing I can think of doing now is literally taking, what was it, grass 1 there, right? And just going physics, grass, collider, save grass 1, take grass 1 into the scene that we've got, and then literally replace the grass with grass 1. But I'm going to need to potentially do some work on that, and then hopefully when I've done that, it should work. But I guess we'll find out, because it's being all kinds of like whack basically. Let's see. It's good on one side, good models and everything, but on the other it's just grinding. So like, oh god. Right, so I know how to spread grass over these surfaces. I know how to do that easily. So what we'll do is we'll just take the grass node and we'll just unlink the data. The reason why is so that I get this surface here, which should still be down as grass. Yeah, grass geometry. So then we go import physics by going append, grass 1, collection, physics. That puts that there and gives me access to the collider and the grass, which we already messed around with before. The thing is, the collider itself, I don't think I need anymore. It's literally just the grass. Right? Sammy says, I've thought about telling my followers about this project for a while. I might do it later, like when I speed paint. Ooh, nice. How's that going anyway, Sammy? Let's see. Swoop says, to put it in perspective, there's 3 ways to progress. Levels, resets, true resets. Huh. Grass. Is it that one? Oh, I see. Oh, dude, that's like... I remember this. Okay. I remember your genocides. I'm gonna have to mess around with this a little bit, but I think we're on to... How many planes do I have to play with here? I think it's a few. Because this was something that I actually paid for ages ago, if I remember rightly. They all now should be using this texture. Where is it? Ah, there we go, right? One final boss, Asriel, requires at least level 100, 20 resets. I can't stress enough. 1,000 true resets. What? I haven't started the next one yet, but I'm planning to when I bike home from job searching. It's no problem. I'm not like rushing or anything, so I'm glad I live in a small town. It's safe enough to bike around because I can't drive. Driving's great, but the problem is other people. Like, other people make driving a little bit of a crazy thing. Cause you're just like, dude, seriously, do not run into me. You know. Right, so with this, I can now start setting this up to have randomized faces. Let's. Can you guys hear Jen upstairs, by the way? I thought I'd just ask because Jen's like playing D&D upstairs. No. Okay, just checking. Just checking. She's upstairs playing D&D, and I'm just like, dude, seriously? I can hear you from down here easily. Uh, well, let's see. What I'm trying to do is make this a little bit more randomized. We're starting to kind of slowly get there now. I think, did I select that one before? I might have. Ah, yeah, I did select one of them. If we do that one, this, no, not that one, this one, and one of these. Right, and then we just go, let's try that there. The idea being that these should hopefully help the problem. Because for some strange reason, I keep getting UV issues when I use the other ones. So, let's see. Yeah. So Sammy works on the project with me as well. Sammy does artwork. Specifically, Sammy originally helped with Mew Mew stuff to do with the true lab, not the true lab, just the standard lab. Sammy's done a lot of like artwork specifically for Mew Mew that goes into the lab. So like the posters, some of the cans that have Mew Mew stuff on, and then the body pillow that was seen in the update. Because I wanted it to be like hand drawn and look anime style, which looked fantastic. And then what ended up happening was after that, I was like, oh my god, Sammy's so good at the artwork that it really fits and helps by getting somebody in from the community that can do the artwork really well. So I keep going back to Sammy now for like different things to do with the artwork. Like at the moment, I needed the intro, like the full intro in high res. And I was just like, I kind of need someone. Sammy, like my first pick here. Is this okay? And Sammy's like, I'm over exaggerating when I say this, but it's like, I suppose so, Dave. Quit bothering me. No, instead, it was more like, oh, okay, thank you very much. I'll try. I was like, oh, okay, thank you. So again, I'm joking when I say that. Don't want to make Sammy out to sound like she's already had enough of me. I'm sure most of the community has had enough of me at this point, But yeah, I love all the artwork and everything that goes into this project. It's so good. Yeah, the intro is something that I needed in high res just for the sake of it. We have not had enough. In fact, we needed more. I'm actually really happy that I'm not having people like go around just be like, dude, you suck and all this other stuff, because it's nice, Oh, oh, let's do this. Nah, I'm tired, old man. You keep waking me up early. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm glad we can have funny banter, It's always fun having a little bit of a joke like that between each other, but I would never say anything terrible. A little bit of joking here and there is not too bad, but anything else is like, whoa, what? Let's go this way. But yeah, I have nothing bad to say about anybody from this community. It's It's brilliant. It's one of the reasons why I absolutely love Undertale. I know. Again, I think I've just got incredibly lucky with interactions with people, and I can't thank people enough for those interactions, because it's affected everything way more than you might imagine. But there's like I suppose I think I've said it a while back, but there is an actual meta thing going on with the project. You know, like it's not exactly an alternate reality game, but there is definitely a another aspect to this, which I think I've told you guys about before. But if I haven't, or anyone's not familiar, please let me know, and I'll more or less spell it out for you, because it's a pretty emotional one as well. Let's see. Let's do this. So the idea now is that all these cards that I'm using for grass here should be good. Is that one? There we go. And then I can just multiply that by like 1,000,000. I do not know. Okay. Let's read chat. So, Swoop says, I became obsessed with Moody's project. I really wanted to try and find a way to be helpful, though I thought at a point I could finally be more sociable. Can you yoink the finished speed paint from behind the scenes? Oh yeah, I'm going to do that. Would you actually hear my voice? I can mute it if you want. But yeah, no, the what I was on about, the whole meta kind of thing to this. It's really interesting. Just give me a second, just seeing if this works. I think it does, because it's slightly moving. I say meta again, but it's really not. I need to put that about there so that the grass sticks up. So, what it is when you think about it is obviously the entire project is, you know, about immersion, hence the name of it. It's obviously, you know, about being able to trust people, being able to get over mental issues and stuff that have been created by past events and things. And the way that I described it to somebody else at one point was I said, basically, when you think about it, there is a meta, or like some sort of outside aspect to this, where the tagline that I put on the poster in the Undernet, like, or that's available on DeviantArt as well, where I said, like, it's not just a game anymore. Technically, it isn't when you think about it, because it's all about somebody being able to change who they are and become better because of the game, but also in a different way. Before I did anything to do with this project, what I did was, and this is going to be a little bit of history for everybody. I've gone over like the bullying thing in the past, but as a result of that, I basically lost most of my education. I was set for getting like decent grades originally. I tried really hard, and what ended up happening was I got bullied that badly that it put me in a really, really bad spot, and I actually ended up more or less only just getting a pass at education. And that's when I got really, really upset, because I was like, dude, I was doing so good here. You know, that's really annoying. So what ended up happening was I then proceeded to just I promised myself that whatever I would do from then on, I would try my hardest at and try and get better, as a way of kind of overcoming what had happened, and try and get back at everybody by being like, dude, seriously, I'm just going to do everything and it's going to be amazing. And it's going to be the best stuff that I can do, and I'm not going to be interrupted like this anymore. And I started slowly building up my trust with people again, because I couldn't trust anyone for ages. You talking to me? Oh, I'll just go back to what I was saying. I couldn't trust anybody for ages, and then I ended up being like, okay, if I'm gonna do group projects again, I'll I'll start doing them and see if I can trust people. And I started doing them, and things were going kind of okay. But what ended up happening was, like, people would flat out just like leave, get bored on like this first project that I wanted to do. People would leave, get bored, or they would get poached by other teams of people that were working on different things. Because at the time I was like modding video games as a way to kind of learn 3D. And then after that happened for like 4 years or something in a row, I was like, yeah, I hate this. I hate working with people. So then I started trying to do everything myself, and that was because I was sick of like waiting for people to give me stuff. Because you've got to understand, the first thing I did when I was having all these trust issues was I decided, like, I'll just do a group project, I'll be the lead, and everyone was supposed to do their work, and they just weren't pulling as much weight as me when I was trying to like organize stuff, get stuff done. Everyone was off doing their own thing, and they weren't really like being able to do the same level of work as I wanted and that I was doing at the time, like trying to test stuff, come up with ideas and things like that. And so I was like, you know what, I'll do everything myself. So I started learning 3D properly. I started like learning how to do textures and stuff like that and simple models, and that took a while. And I started doing that all on my own. And then after I'd done a little bit of that, I started doing not just levels on my own, but I started doing like texturing properly, like learning how to apply textures to things and create better models. So I was refining everything as I was going, but I wasn't really trusting or working with anyone anymore. During this time as well, I was also going through education. So at the time where I was learning all of this in my free time, I was also going through like college. So I was doing like multimedia in college, and I was just more or less just walking through these lessons and not having any trouble because I'd learned all of this in my free time. And I made a couple of friends that I was talking to. If you've watched any of the gaming streams, you'll know like Stu and Sean. Stu was one of like the earliest friends I had in college. I just hung out with him a little bit. But that was like the first time I'd ever properly trusted anyone again after what had happened. And then what ended up happening after that was it got to about 2009, and I just worked more on different projects that were all my own. But hey Wolf, what would happen is that I'd do a project and something would go wrong. So it'd be like, I'd get really far in it, and then the computer would die, or the hard drive would die, or like I'd get death threats and other things depending on what I was working on. Like I've had a couple of death threats. I've been doxxed a couple of times. I've had threats made to my employer at one point from the games industry. So I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. And this is after me trying to trust people again. So I just was not willing to trust anybody. I was trying to do everything myself. And all this time I'd had all these problems and everything else. And I'd been doing stuff on my own and learning and cruising my way through 3D basically. And then it was when I got to this where I was like, okay, I'll try and do it all myself. And clearly I couldn't, because I could only get so far and make like a decent promo of like the original version. And I was like, originally I was like, I just need voiceover and stuff. And I was kind of reluctant to get voiceover done on it, because I was like, if I don't get the files for this, then I'm screwed. And when you think about it, I've always said, like, in a lot of these development videos, I'm paranoid, and that's just because of how much has fallen apart in the past at, like, different points, or people just walking away, or, like, in some instances, just totally straight up feeling like they've betrayed me and stuff. or just like ghosting me and things like that. So I've always had problems trusting people. And then like I come into this community and I'm like, yeah, okay, I want to do something this big. I guess I'll try trusting people. And then by finally kind of changing the way that I think and taking a risk on stuff, everything's just gone insane, and we're up to this point now where I'm more or less like almost done. As in like I'm just up to the parts that I can do on my own again. It's nuts. You know, like going through all of that stuff on my own and learning stuff on my own to get better, and not being able to trust people, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, so now I have to trust people. I guess I'll change my approach, and then next minute it's like, yeah. So anyway, your project's going really well. You know, I think it's kind of funny in a little way. It's just like, dude, I don't believe this. You know, I'm just really lucky. It gets me emotional when I think about it. Because, like, all that time that I spent just, like, on my own, basically trying to do things, and it was just, like, falling apart. And then the moment I try and do something properly with, like, having to trust somebody again, or just people in general, is when I don't have any problems. It's, again, it's crazy. I can't quite believe it. I still can't quite believe it. Is that going? Yeah, that's physics. Physics. And then what I want here is 0.1. Oh my god, what is going on? That's filling up all of Fallen Down. Oh god. Can I? Ooh! Right, what the heck is going on here? Right, that's scale, that's rotation. That's random value on rotation. Is it? Okay, there we go. Right. So, how is this applying? 1000. Hey, Alvin! Hey, Moody, you got this. Thank you very much! Thanks to hello to everyone that's coming in. Swoop says, to be truthful to you, Moody, I've never been a part of something big, say like a movie or something, so that's why I applied for a River Person. I just wanted to do something interesting. That's fair, you know. Just realized I'm not called Mimir on this account. It says, oh god. Yeah, oh, let's see. Minimum distance? Density factor. Why is that doing that so far away from everything else? Is it because of me or what? Let's find out. It must be. So if I put that at like 0. Ah. Okay. I'm going to try and do a remix of Don't Forget with Immersiontale, like, oh, that would be cool. So this now, hopefully. Oh my god, should all react. Oh, I just realized it won't react yet until I've realized it as instance. Right, so we do create mesh, right? Oh, wait, I just realized that's not going to do that because of that. Why is it? Ah, there we go. Convert to mesh, right? Now, if I do cloth on that, everything's going to vanish for a moment. And that's because we've still got everything set up in a crazy way. Steps need to be 1. Shape needs to be pinned group. Is everything okay? I'm hoping it'll go okay, Alvin. I'm just trying to mess around with this physics stuff at the moment. Hang on. Right. Force is fine. Vortex, magnet, and harmonic can be turned off. Right. Now, hopefully that's just it. As in, like, I don't need anything else. That should be everything we need. Oh my god. Right. My frame rate may just die here. I guess we'll find out. I got 9 frames per second. Right. The question is, does this work? I guess we're about to find out. Right, new. Does that actually look okay? Kind of looks okay. I might need to tweak the lighting on it because it looks a little bit bright. Oh my god. Right, emission? No. Specular. Wait, what? Maybe it's because of that. I guess we'll find out. Maybe I can just add a bit of metallic because a bit of metallic might. There we go. Right. Oh, we're about to find out. Wait, actually, no, I don't need that. I can add Frisk and Toriel as colliders. Oh my god, this may blow up everything. If I all of a sudden lag like mad, then don't come back. Then you know why, because it is pretty crazy. Oh no. Okay. As long as this works for a little bit, I can take the collision off the other stuff. I just need a little bit of this. I like that swoop. I really like that. Sammy says, it's funny, I can't remember how I got here, but I can remember when you said my name, I showed up again. And I've been showing up ever since. I like showing people, you know, the attention they deserve. I also just like talking to everybody. It's a chill place. Oh god, are you ready for this? Oh god, Toriel's already got a collision on her. This may kill everything right now. Oh, I guess we'll find out. Oh, it's moving! The question is, does it break underneath? No, it doesn't. What do you think? I think it's good. Right, let's see. It felt weirdly personal. Oh, hang on, let's read Damon's first. Hey Dave, I hope it goes well. I need to go to college tomorrow, so I'll see you later. Thank you very much for sticking around then, Damon. Sammy says, it felt weirdly personal. It made me realize I like the name Sammy. Alvin says, so I have a question. What PC or computer should I buy for 3D modeling or uploading stuff for VR chats? My first PC died, and it's made for gaming, not 3D modeling. I can tell you what specs I've got. These are probably going to be bad now. Hang on. So, I'll write them down as well. So I've got the CPU is an i7. My RAM is 32 gig. My that's for total installed RAM at least. Let's see. Hardware resources. My actual system memory, like how much I have. I've got on the C drive, I think I've got where is it? 2 terabytes, and on the storage drive, I've got 4 terabytes. So I suppose you could say in total I've got 6, but that's not including external storage. So 6 terabyte storage, and then for let's see. For other hardware, I've got a RTX 3060, which, yeah, it's not amazing right now, because there's so much other stuff that's come out, but it still handles most stuff pretty well. VR chat, it just handles really well. Let's see. Trying to make sure I've got this right. Yeah. And then from that, I'm running 2 monitors on a display arm so that holds them up. And then I'm running like Blender and everything else. Pretty much, I've never filled up either of the hard drives because they're in terabytes. And I always have external backup drives as well that are in terabytes. So yeah, I've got plenty of space. And also it runs pretty nicely for most things. Unless you're wanting to keep up with like literally everything that's gonna come out in future. Like every game, then it's good. I realize Toriel doesn't come in here, so I can just have Frisk. I think I'd call it that remix Immersional Thoughts. Oh, don't forget Immersiontale edition. Sammy says, because of my older sister has started calling me that, and it makes me happy. Aww. Thank you very much for the information, says Alvin. That's no problem. You should be able to pick a 3060 up pretty easily, depending on, like, your money. Because when I got this, I think it was the 3080 or 3090 had just come out. So it wasn't too far behind. Now, because it's been like a couple of years, it's a little bit behind. Because now we're up to like, what, the 5 series instead of the 4, because it was the 4090 last time. Oh my god, I need to see if Frisk can actually move through the geometry here. Hang on. This is gonna be rough, and it'll probably be really crazy. Let's just... Frisk doesn't even need to move in a straight line here. Frisk just needs to move through this. Oh my god, it's working! It's working even if I am at 6 frames per second, you know. Oh. Right, I need to render this. Oh god. Okay. I need to render this as a test. Right, animation. This may break everything, so I'm just gonna save this real quick as EX. Okay. Why is that? Oh, it's because I'm in that window. Oh, yeah, okay. Please, dear God, work and don't break my computer. Right. Let's see from this angle. If I just... This might end up being a test render for today. Let's see. If I go like C, TMP, grass test. I really should have named it like grass test. Please don't explode. Right? 3. Oh, wait. How many frames am I rendering out here? 600? No. Oh, wait, I see, because it's... Is that at 30 frames per second? Yeah, it is. Okay. Let's hope to dear God this works, doesn't break, and then I can, like, edit the plants, and then we should have physics on everything. Oh, it's gonna render now, and potentially just... I love this. May it be overloading the settings for OBS. The thing is, I won't know if this works until it's rendered. Oh my god, until it's rendered stuff off, or when I'm looking in the window. The question is, how much will it lag? I can see you can see the grass moving there, right? Or is that in the preview window? Like, I'm slowly seeing it. The problem is, it may take forever to render. Actually, wait a minute. How many, cut the render for a sec. Stop it, because I need to see, the settings on it. Samples 16. Let's drop that to 10. Right? And then we'll go File, Viewport Animation. That makes it render just that little bit faster. Oh, it's an MKV file as well? No, we don't want that. I want an MP4. I love the way I keep on ruining this by going back and changing the settings. Encoding. MP4. Oh god, it's doing it perpetually lossless as well. Frisk is just standing there. I swear I heard your computer rev up. Maybe. I'll actually take my headset off in a moment so I can just hear that for myself. Hang on. All this just to get physics working. Like, for me at the moment, it doesn't matter if it takes time. What matters is if it looks okay at the end. What I might have to do is tone down the amount of grass in here. I'm not so sure, because there's so much of it. Unless it's dead air, I hear, says Sammy. I'm not hearing much, like, difference on my end, which is good. The funny thing is, Frisk isn't animated here, so we're just going to have a video of Frisk, like, slowly sliding across the screen. It's not even the version of Frisk that I did the other day that looks better. It's literally just a standard version, just as a test. Okay, so the grass works there. We're going to see the flowers clip through Frisk now, because what I need to do is I need to get the flowers rigged up the same way as the grass. POV, Frisk just standing there. I hear Metal Gear Rising. Sky says, 7 days until Digimon Story Time Strangers comes out. So, again, you might not see this on your end. I'm seeing the preview window, and the preview window is lagging really badly. It's showing like every single frame, but stuff is moving, and the one thing that was annoying me before was basically stuff would move, but then it would go under the environment. Like it would just vanish under the floor, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? You know. I'm just glad I figured this out, because like before the other night when I was trying to get modifiers and stuff working and somebody else's way of doing this, it was just like, nah, you're not gonna get that working. And then I'm like, oh, okay then, I guess I'm screwed here. And then it's like, I would still really like that detail though, because that's gonna be nice for looking realistic. And then, sure enough, I find another tutorial that's a little bit older. I think it's like 2 years old or something like that. And it's like, yeah, so anyway, you can apply cloth physics another way and it'll just work. I'm like, oh, I'll just try that then. Next moment, it's like, okay, that works. And then as I showed before, we've got the whole deal with like the previous tests that I did. Please don't break. Please don't break. I know, right? Now, this is crazy because we now have to wait like 600 frames, and I think it's only up to like 5. So this just shows like how slow it's going for rendering, because it doesn't just render everything like super fast. And it also depends on your Blender settings. Like I'm trying to see where it's up to frame wise, but I don't want to click anything because when I click something, if it's not the X button, there's a potential for it to just totally break. So I'd rather like not have it go bust on me. I think I saw Frisk move an inch. See, on my screen, Frisk is actually positioned a little bit further now. There's like the grass is moving, everything's moving. But I'm not so sure whether it's like that in the window that you guys are watching, because I think Frisk has just stood still. I could be wrong. I'm trying to have a look at the... I'm trying to keep an eye on the grass that's actually in the scene at the moment, because if any of it explodes in like the wrong way or warps or does anything that I don't want it to, that's when I'm gonna be like, ah, Frisk is moving. Oh, nice. I can barely see it. I'm hoping that these 600 frames that I have to render don't look bad. Because that's the one thing now, is like this is a proper test render where everything outside of, say, I think the materials for Frisk is final. The only thing that I would need to do now is the placement of the flowers. Like if I can get the flowers to work realistically as well, then we're good. I might need to actually change the position of some of them as well. But after that, we should be good. I'm pretty sure Frisk has just hit the moonwalk. On mine, Frisk is like almost out. You know where the pillar is? On the left side at the top. Frisk is almost to the right of that on my screen. But yeah, this is the kind of thing I have to then sit and watch now. Is just like when it does this, I can't do anything. I've just got to sit back and do nothing. And normally I don't stream when it's doing this for obvious reasons, but I guess time will tell whether this has worked or not. I just want a nice interactive looking field of grass and flowers to actually work so it grounds the character in the world. Why is that so hard to ask? Why did I do this at the beginning? Why did I make it like wild grass that's up to Frisk's like knees? And why did I make it so that like there's tons of flowers in there as well? Like I really don't know. I just wanted to make it look good, and now I'm like, oh no. How much would you rate my poem of Immersion Thoughts? I'm just looking back through again. Like before, I was trying to get stuff set up at the same time, so I'm looking back through again. Dude, I like Don't Forget Anyway, the standard one. I just read it. I'm almost tearing up here. Oh my god, I really like that swoop. Like not even saying that just for the sake of it. I really do like that. I'm like half tearing up at that because it's like it's a nice little edit. And when I like focus on it and think about it properly, after like all the stuff that I was saying before, it hits me really hard. And then I'm looking at the screen and being like, please don't die, please don't die, please don't die. Oh, want me to define some meanings? Go for it. Go for it, because I might be interpreting stuff slightly differently. So it's going to be interesting to see whether we're both on the same page. Yeah, I'll agree with that one. I think Frisk is halfway. Yeah, Frisk is up to the same place on your screen as my screen at the moment by the looks of it. People look like fancy. Undertale is a fancy game after all. True. I kind of took that one as like the whole thing of like me not being able to trust people. It's like people are fancy right now because I'd like to trust them, but I can't. You know. Your life inside your heart, the real nice life you'll have at the end. Aww. I hope so. You know, like I don't think I mentioned the ending. Did I before? I can't remember. But basically, yeah, when I was saying like it's kind of funny that this entire like meta thing going on with the project is essentially me learning how to trust people again, or learning to take a little bit of a risk and trust people again. And the payoff is that I get a really nice project out of it. The other nice part is I actually feel a little bit more human, you know, is the best way of putting it. Like for ages I was just the best way to describe it is when Undertale's telling you like, oh, you do the genocide run and you feel like really cold and disconnected from people. I can totally relate to that, you know, because I didn't want to know anyone for ages. I was just like, dude, no, I can't bother with people. They're just, I just, you know, it sounds crazy, especially now, but it's like, dude, I hated everyone. Like I didn't even have to know you. I hated everybody's guts, you know, no matter who you were. And it sucks to say that now, you know, with obviously having this project and everything and meeting everyone, because everyone's super nice. But like, yeah, old me, or yeah, I suppose you could say old me, because I've not gone into that bit yet. Old me, I hated everybody's guts, literally, no matter who you were. It didn't matter like what age, what race, what gender. It was just like, dude, I just hate you all the same, you know. And it sucked. It really sucked, because I felt really lonely. And yeah, I am pretty teary at the moment. You know it's good when Dave starts to cry. I get emotional a lot, but it's crazy because like when I after I'd played Undertale, no joke, I think I've mentioned it a couple of times, but I went through this phase where I did nothing like on some nights but just cry for like hours. I have no clue what it was about. Maybe it was like my entire time where I spent like hating everybody else and getting bullied. I think maybe it was all that time catching up with me, and I'm just like, dude, what, you know? And realization was just like setting in about what had happened, and yeah, I would do nothing but cry like on a lot of nights. It didn't help that I was listening to the Undertale soundtrack at the same time for a bit of that, but it was like, dude, this is gutting me, you know. It was crazy as well because that happened for I think about like 6 months, and I remember like I remember coming back and changing my VTuber avatar as a way of symbolizing that I had changed a lot, and I remember people being like, "Dude, what's up with you?" And I'm like, I think I learned how to cry properly now." And people are like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "Well, previously, when I'd get angry or upset or something, there might be odd times where I would cry, and it would always be from my left side, but not my right side. I'd always only cry on the left side of my face, and then yeah, when when I was going through this period of catching up with everything, I did the right side started going as well. I was like, okay, this is new. This is something I'm not used to. You know, it was crazy. But again, that's story level stuff that I can't really disclose. The me that's on screen now is not the same me that's in the movie. You know, there's a definite difference there that I want to portray. The last meaning I define as the most emotional voice as Swoop. Let's see. Yeah, Alvin giving me all the hearts and everything. Yeah, I definitely prefer things the way they are now to what they were. You know. I love the way we're slowly seeing Frisk move here. I don't know how many frames this has been either. Like, seriously, how many frames are we on? Is there any way that I can find out? Oh, we're not even halfway? According to this? We're 40%. One last message to make you happiest. Undertale movie maker alive. I sadly gotta go, so please, Mr. Dave, be safe and remember we believe in you, says Alvin. Thank you very much, Alvin. Thanks for sticking around again. Sammy says, I wasn't looking, LMAO. I see them further away. Hey, Classic. I'm doing okay. I'm just trying to fix the physics here. They actually work now. They work, and they don't look too bad. I just gotta get it working in scene with Frisk actually moving. What I might do is clear some of the geometry in the center though, so there's not as much in the center, because I feel like the flower field and the grass look good. I just need to edit it a little bit, just a little bit, to make it look a little bit more real. Like if I delete some of the faces so that the grass isn't just totally overgrown, then maybe that'll work, because it looks okay at the moment. I feel like it just needs that little bit more doing to it to make it look better. Frisk is literally like, I think more than halfway there now. Where are we at? 46%. Oh my god, this is taking forever. That moment where we just sat here for like ages just watching this physics. I'm just like checking out stuff real quick. Oh, here's one for you guys. Again, I mentioned it in the part 2 of the anniversary. But what the heck was the deal with like Toby mentioning like different AUs? And the reason why I say that is because this is me probably like gaslighting myself or just thinking something when it's wrong. It's like Toby mentioned like the whole thing of Undertale, and then Toby mentioned one of the other ones with like a bunch of sands in, because it was like, oh yeah, just go create like 500 skeletons, which kind of reminded me of Underverse or X-Tale, more Underverse than anything else. And I was like, okay, I think I know those. What Toby freaking then drops the whole thing of being like, so anyway, what about that one with the streamer in it? And I'm like, wait, what? You know, because immediately, because I'm obviously creating this, that has me like, did Toby actually see this? Is one of the users that are just messing around called Toby Fox actually Toby Fox that's seen this, or what? You know, I'm gaslighting myself now. I'm like, is that real? Is there another AU that has a streamer in it like this? What's going on? I need to know. You know, it's driving me crazy. Swoop says, you're patient with your project. You get far with bravery. You show integrity, and you really need it. With perseverance to never give up and show kindness to your fans. And those bullies will be given justice, says Swoop. Indeed. Sammy says, if that really was Toby, I must scream. I know, right? Like, these couple of times where Toby's, like, the people have come in with Toby Fox's username and been like, so anyway, this. And I'm like, oh, hi, Toby, I don't think it's you. What happens if it actually was Toby? and he knows, like, please tell me there is more than one AU with a streamer in. Because otherwise, Toby's been in here, seen this, and we've just kind of played it off as if it wasn't Toby. I need to know. Like, it's gonna be going round in my head now because of the anniversary. Like, I don't know many AUs outside of like Story Swap. You could count Yellow, Glitch Tail, X Tail, Outer Tail, Undertale. No. If he knows, that would be awesome and scary. More than anything, it's like, dude, if Toby shouted us out, you know, on the anniversary stream, that's nuts, but I need to know. Hang on, I'm gonna search it on Google now on my phone while we're waiting. Like, 'cause I don't know, I really don't know. Inverted Fate doesn't have a streamer though, right? That's all of the roles are changed. Despite all your struggles and problems, and all the times you needed help. Okay, that one hit hard, Swoop. That one really hit hard in a good way. Oh boy. Hey, Average. Oh, that was really good. You know what, it's good when I pause for a moment, because I'm like, oh. Well, let's see. Undertale AU streamer. No, that's just streamers that have played Undertale. Commentary Tale. That's a thing? Let's have a look. Does the physics work? Yeah, they work. I'm literally rendering out now. Commentary Tale. Let's see. What's the description for Commentary Tale? Commentary Tale is an AU created by Green Star Productions. The AU takes various characters from a YouTube community called the Slideshow Commentary Community, places them in the roles of Undertale characters. The exception is Frisk, who represents a new commentator joining the community rather than a particular commentator. While a full-on game is currently not in the works, a Create Your Frisk mod has been made. You can download it here. Development of Commentary Tale has been cancelled through a post on a blog. Manual work. Glad to hear it. I put all my heart and soul into these kind words. It makes me overjoyed to know that my messages are super effective in a good way. Oh, thank you very much, Swoop. I need to I need to find out what's going on. Dude, I'm gonna have to ask the community more and more. Just like, seriously, what AUs have streamers in? I'm actually kind of crazy. Sorry for losing you 15 bucks. Sorry, big sorry. Yeah, it's my fault for just kind of giving in and being like, dude, I should just go and spend 15 bucks that I don't have. I shouldn't have been so quick to jump at that. But it's no big deal now. What's done is done. I just gotta deal with my own consequences, you know. At least I got this working, though. I know what the problem was. It was, I said there could be a free plugin. I know you did, but when I looked at it, there wasn't. But yeah, you don't have to be like that. It's fine. Oh, come on! It's almost there. Almost there. It's like 65% done. 66% done. I'm not trying to be an obsession of your ultimate biggest fan. I simply say these things because I genuinely care. To be fair, I like the fact that people actually do care, you know, because, like, I suppose you could say that, like, going into this, I was like, my mindset was basically, I'm just gonna do an animation, and away we go, you know, and then over time, it's been like, no, people actually genuinely do care because of how much is going into this, you know. That reminds me, I guess I can drop another interesting tidbit of deep lore on things. Hang on, where is it? So do you want to know where all this started as well? Like all this like project stuff. This is one that I think I might have mentioned or hinted at. But I'll actually show it this time. How? There we go. I'm gonna have to mute these, or at least some bits, right? I'll actually show you the other bits that led to this, right? Because yeah, it's part 6. Okay. That's going to need to be muted because it has copyright music. That should be at the end. Okay. That moment where I'm just like dropping the biggest lore stuff here. Okay. So, let's... There you go, let's grab that. What's that one? Bam? There we go. So these have always been on my channel, right? Let's just make sure. These have always been on my channel, but these were made before Immersiontale. And you guys won't have seen this, or probably won't have. It's like 3 years ago, right? Oh, there we go. 3 years ago, when I started doing animation. The reason why I started doing animation is primarily because it was like the last thing that I hadn't done in 3D really well, and I was like, dude, I want to get better at it. I want to do some animations. It looks cool, right? So this is when I started out doing stuff. This is kind of hinting at the storyline that I've mentioned before. You see like different versions and stuff. But yeah, this was before I even got to the Undertale section. Oh look, it's the Abyss. That's literally almost every stream that I'd done up until that point in the background as well, circling round. Oh look, it's the eye that keeps on returning. And that's linked to the eye. It's still sad that this has copyright music on it. Oh look, it's Azrael. That's literally the first ever render of Azrael. So this is like, the idea is I was going to be doing this as a celebration for like basically a load of games that I'd streamed up until this point. Going through a lot of like different stuff. And then it ends with Undertale. And that's the first one, like, the first sign that we had of Fallen Down there. That's the very old version of Fallen Down. But yeah, all these other games we're gonna go through now, right? But they're not gonna be muted, so we've got... Oh, this is the second one 3 years ago. Okay, what do I do now? Ow! Oh. That doesn't seem right. Whew. Okay, that's cool. So, with that one, Swoop says, my time has come now, Moody, remember this. Let's see, and then we'll go through the other ones. Projects change lives, yours included. Thank you very much, Swoop. Have a good night. So, hang on, I'm just checking that for later. Okay. So what ended up happening was, with that one, that was just me messing around doing a load of effects and trying to get a feel for Blender. And you can see like the animation is slow and kind of jank. It was like the first time I'd properly animated, and I was just messing around with a ton of effects and trying to get everything to look alright. And then from then on, I kept on messing around with different effects to try and make things look better based off different games that I was playing at the time. Maybe we should stick together? Or not? Well, there goes the gym. So that was part 2. And I like that one because, like, it has some interesting details in, like, all the areas. Like, for instance, the buildings have, actually have realistic reflections in the windows, so you can see all the stuff moving around in the back. All the glow and everything looks pretty nice. So I was like, okay, I'm happy with that. Also, the cockpit section here, that's literally a rendering of the same environment. I've just put it as, like, a video in the cockpit so you can see exactly where everything is. Not. Well... So that was cool, right? I would not go back into Blender if you didn't make this video, Rudy. Thank you, says Classic. Oh, no problem, Classic. But yeah, what do you think? Is $35 good for modular physics plugin made for interactions? Honestly, I don't know. I couldn't make a call on that one average. Part 3 here is, again, another Gundam game, because, again, this was, like, celebrating all the games that I was frequently playing up until this point. So this has just been messing around more with effects and some animation. Oh god! Oh, that sounds so good! Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, just ignore me. I'm not here. I was never here. Just carry on.
A desire for social interaction, physical contact, affectional support may lead you to make poor judgments and decisions in multiple areas. Persistent.
So yeah, in that one, the reason why there's dead space in between is because at that time I'd like streamed Dynasty Warriors Gundam, which is most of this. It's a lot of like messing around with particles and everything to get like meteor fields and large scale battles animated. And then I did like a couple of cheap ways in certain scenes of doing like different effects that made it look like the anime. Overall, I'm really happy with that one. The Dead Space one was just me messing around because I did a stream of Dead Space like ages ago for Halloween. And I was mentioning about how I absolutely love just the sound effects, even though they're so brutal on it. It makes me sound literally insane. And I was playing into that with that section. And then we've got, I think it's Doom next? Yeah, so when I streamed Doom originally, or when I tried doing it, that's when I actually broke both of my arms for like a year. So this is before Undertale. This one, again, I was messing around with environments, trying to get better at animation, do effects and stuff. All the effects are me. They're, like, not from anybody else. They're not, like, out of any packs or anything. It's just me learning more about Blender as I do each one of these animations based on games that I enjoy. Oh, and you'll see at the beginning here, the idea is that every time I go into it, like a different game, it's always me falling into it more or less. That's how I explain why I'm the... Ah! Jesus! Oh, my ears! God damn! Hey, do you know where I could get one of those? Ah! Ah! So yeah, that one I like because of the effects on it. I did all the animation for that. I was getting a lot better at it, and I was using like different reference. The only problem is it's slow because it's at 24 FPS at the time. This was using my old computer as well, so I was doing like every trick that I could learn in the book, and populating environments and stuff, animating it all myself, doing all the effects. But the problem was like low frame rate and my microphone quality, because my microphone was like a really old one. Now I've got like voice mod and a couple of other things running that make the mic sound a little bit better. But yeah, that one's pretty crazy. And the reason why I kind of ended that section with me getting clawed to death was I was going to have it where I just completely lost my arms in that segment. But yeah, that was kind of a celebratory thing, because I really do like Doom 2016. I just obviously had a bad experience with it. And then this one is a game that I actually ended up working on as part of the time between playing, like before I played Undertale, but after I damaged my arms, I was basically a lead tester on an indie game called Mecha Knight's Nightmare. And this is celebrating that by having like the sound effects and everything. Maybe not necessarily the correct models for it and stuff, because I didn't want to rip them. But this was like one of those, and then it hints to the final one, part 6. So this is how we got here, part 6. This is where I was messing around with like atmosphere and stuff like that, and trying to do a little bit heavier animations for like robots and stuff. I like the lighting in this one. It was cool trying to play off like how dark things are, but also try and give that sense of atmosphere of stuff like looming in the distance. And then it goes off there and kind of goes to the PV. So it shows everything, and then it's got the PV for the last bit. There we go. Right? And then the last one before part 6, right? This is the most important one, because this was before Immersiontale was actually a thing, right? This is when I was getting ready for it. So, the massive lore drop being that technically Immersiontale is part 6 and the final part to this series of animations that I started years ago where I was getting better. And I think it's safe to say that at this point I'm a lot better than when I started. But yeah, let's go and see what I came up with for what would be like snippets of Immersiontale for part 6. I love this music, by the way.
And I've lost who I am, and I can't understand why my heart is so broken, rejecting your love without love gone on, lifeless words carry on. But I know, all I know is that the end's beginning. Who I am from the start, take me home to my heart, let me go, and I will run. I will not be silent. All this time spent in vain, wasted years, wasted gain. All is lost, hope remains, and this war's not over. There's the light, there's the sun, taking our shattered ones to the place we belong, and His love will conquer. And I lost who I am, and I can't understand why my heart is
I think it's funny when you look at that because all of that is just like I had this idea of just I'll just do it real quick like I've done the other sections. I'll just basically throw all the stuff from SFM in, and we'll just go with it. And yeah, it's turned out to be completely different now. Where it's like instead of just throwing everything in and away we go, and so it's like no, now I'll actually put the effort in, and then because of that, everything's like super effort in terms of level. Oh, oh my god, it's worked. Oh my god, it's 20 megabytes. Let's see if I look at the file. Please tell me it works. Ha ha ha! Okay, that doesn't look too bad. That doesn't look too bad. Show it. Hang on. As it trails off into the distance, I think there's an issue there. Hang on. Just give me a sec. I just want to test it in here. Let's just... Can I just... Actually, no, I can just do that, right? I need to... Oh, come on. I need to see... There we go. It trailed off here in the distance for me. It didn't look like it was working. So I'm just checking my 6 FPS to see whether it does work. Ah, there. Why is it stopping the sim there? Because I noticed this in the render. Gets to about there. Why does it stop there? Why does the sim stop there? Dude, because we can see it moving. There's something wrong with it there. I don't know what it is. Let's see. Is there a time limit that it can go on for or something? Viscosity. That is a lot of grass. Yeah, I'm wondering about it at the moment. I might need to do it in small segments instead so that it actually all works instead of a large patch of grass like this. But what I'll do is I'll just save this for a moment. Right? And we'll just go video editing and I'll show you the version that I've got here. Eats grass. Don't eat the grass! I need it! So, we can see it does work. Like here, it does work. It does bend. That's nice. It's great. Looks okay until we get there. And then for some strange reason, it's not moving there. So I can only assume there's something going on with the sim there. There's got to be a more effective way of doing it. I think I like it the way that it is. The thing is, I think there's too much of it. Cause when you look at it, just as an environment like this. Oh crap, come on. It's because I'm not rendering everything. When you look at it like this, not even in-game has it shown like this. I wanted to make it look like pretty overgrown because it's not been visited in a while. But when I think about it, Toriel's the one that mentions that she comes and tends to it quite a lot. So it makes sense. Is the grass, all the grass using physics? Yes. I figure I make like the grass shorter a little bit. And I make a specific pathway to physics grass. So that we know it works all the way through there. Because none of the rest of this needs to really move. But it's like, I think I make it shorter, and I don't put as many of these tall flowers in because of Toriel's dialogue. I feel like that might work. Yeah, that's what I'm on about, Sky. Do like everything else static. But for anyone that's just turned up, I'll tell you what it was or what I think it was, right? So I had a simulation. Basically, what was happening was last night I found a bunch of tutorials, and this is the first one, right? What we're essentially doing is pinning the bottom verts as like maximum so that they don't move, and then giving the top verts a weight of about 5. Then we hit it with collision and make it have rubber physics. And oh look, that's looking not too bad. So I'm like, okay, I'll take that and roll with it. Grass test 2. Because what was happening was, there were groups of grass, but it wasn't quite working how wanted. Oh no, hang on, it's the other one first. Grass test 1. What was happening was, when I was applying stuff to groups of grass, it just wasn't working. It was like breaking everything. Everything was flying all over the place, and I was like, wait, what? That makes no sense. So I took what I just showed you, that plane, I duplicated it loads, applied the same settings, and then did this as a case study. So I'm like, okay, as a case study, that works. That should work. Everything should work. And then I'm like, okay, let's do it again. I did it with geometry nodes, exactly like in the environment, so that it simulates it being random and looking all kinds of cool. The difference being that when you have geometry nodes slightly off to the side like this, or rather, when you're referencing this and saying copy it here, what was happening was that anything that would interact with that would be fine, but anything that wasn't interacting with it, in this case all of the stuff that was copied on geometry nodes, this ball would just collide, well, it would just cruise through stuff and wouldn't affect it, and I was like, what's going on here? That's because this wasn't realized as a mesh. Essentially what it's saying is, like, this one's the real one, and even though you've copied it a billion times here, the thing is, it's not really a mesh, so I made it a mesh, a physical object, give it cloth physics, and then sure enough, oh look, it works. But then I was getting UV issues on the other one, which are basically like texture issues, and I'm like, I have no clue what's going on here. I don't know why I'm having texture issues either, because I shouldn't. Everything should be done correctly. So what I ended up doing was just taking this model from here, deleting everything else, and just being like, you know what, I'll take this, I'll put this in as the model because I know it works. Retextured all of these surfaces like real quick tonight, and then just put it in and it just worked. Just like, dude, seriously? I don't know. So yeah, it's crazy. It's like, at least it works, you know. That's all I'm after at this point. If it works, it works. If it simulates movement, if it looks okay, which it kind of does, you know, then I'm not gonna complain about that. I just need to get it to work a little bit better, and that's what I'm gonna do later on. Is I'm gonna do the exact same thing, but I'm gonna take all of this off here and just make a path that goes straight here, and then maybe cut down some of this in the center, and then just have that area as physics only, so that only that moves, and then that should be good, and then I can animate the beginning of the ruins. So tonight's physics crazy quest is done. And I'm going to take a break from there. I'm going to have a drink, enjoy the rest of the night, and then tomorrow I'll play around with this, or maybe I'll set it up towards the end of tonight, and then tomorrow I can just like render stuff. Although the weekend is a bit of a pain because I normally just relax on that anyway. So maybe like Sunday, I'll do it. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you've enjoyed the lore dump as well. And I'll see you on the next one. So until then, bye!